Hi, Marshall here with Marshall's Game Reviews. With this first installment in my video game review series, I bring you The Walking Dead. First up, presentation. The Walking Dead is an easy, simple-to-use menu. You pick a save file, and then proceed to pick an episode. Assuming you've played with all of them unlocked as I did, as I was late to jump on the Walking Dead train, and missed the singular episode release period. While I'm sure that added to the suspense of what would happen next, I didn't mind having them all unlocked from the get-go, as the content here is exceptional. You can choose to start whatever episode you like, but I strongly recommend you play from episode 1. The choices you make, while not affecting the outcome, will affect your relationships with other characters. The characters that populate this experience are some of the most endearing I've ever had the pleasure to get to know in a game. The presentation receives a 9 out of 10. The story of Telltale Games' The Walking Dead is phenomenal. While not offering the plot twists of, say, BioShock Infinite, it doesn't need to. It's a simple story of surviving during the zombie apocalypse. But simple is underselling it. I won't give anything away, but The Walking Dead is a touching, horrifying, depressing, and emotionally draining game that you will think about long after completion. The many lives you couldn't save, and abundance of other choices will weigh heavy on you. It's a tough game to sit through, but by no means is that a fault. It's a milestone in video game storytelling. Never has a game wrung such genuine emotions out of me. I cared for these characters. You step into the shoes of Lee Everett, a man who at the beginning of the game is on his way to prison. From the sparse details we get, you learn his wife was having an affair, that Lee may or may not have intentionally killed his wife's lover. On your ride to prison, the car crashes, and from there Lee sees the horrors of the zombie apocalypse that seemingly just started. Most importantly, Lee meets Clementine, an 8-year-old girl alone at her house. Her parents went on vacation and left her with a babysitter. The fate of her parents unknown, Lee vows to protect Clementine, who winds up being the best representation of a child in a video game to date. She's awkward and somewhat ignorant to the world, but not because she is stupid or unlikable. Because she's a child, and she doesn't know any better. The relationship that grows between Lee and Clementine is a towering achievement that makes this game stand tall above others. You'll care about Clementine. You'll be scared when she's out of your sight, and you'll feel relief when she's okay. You'll mourn for her when she feels afraid. You'll feel better when you comfort her. It's rare for a video game to make the player care so much for a character. It's no small feat, and this game deserves every bit of praise given to it. The story gets a 10 out of 10. The Walking Dead is a point-and-click adventure game, but don't let that fool you into thinking it's boring or uninteresting. It's a suspenseful and thrilling game to play. You move Lee with the joystick, or you can simply click where you want him to go. You interact with the environment by being given multiple choices of what you want Lee to do. Each choice is color-coded and corresponds to a button. If you're playing on PlayStation 3, for example, and you want to open a door, you'll have a few choices. Each choice corresponding to one of the face buttons. For example, choosing to open the door will be orange and on the left side, just like the circle button. Choosing to peek inside will be on the bottom and colored blue, just like the X button, so on and so forth. Combat is handled with QuickTime events. While many a gamer believe this is a tired trend, The Walking Dead has some of the best use of QTE since Resident Evil 4 and the original God of War. Combat never feels dull or repetitive. The stakes are high, and the perfect use of QTEs never grates or becomes boring. The most important part of gameplay, though, is the conversation system. Similar to the system found in Mass Effect, you're given 4 dialogue options, each one having a different impact on the situation at hand. You have a time limit to make your decision, always clearly shown. The system is so well implemented that there are conversations just as intense as any combat scenario. Gameplay gets a 9.5 out of 10. The sound design, simply put, is superb. While not perfect, the guns sound like Cap guns. Sometimes the audio will glitch out and not match what the characters are saying, but those few flaws don't detract from the overall quality. The zombies sound exactly as they should. Impact noises on rotting zombie flesh sound fittingly gruesome. The real standout here, though, is the cast, and how well each line is delivered. From the smallest supporting character to the leads, there is no weak link in this cast. You'll feel for the characters when they're scared or frustrated. As I mentioned in the gameplay portion of this review, conversations can be just as intense as the combat. A huge part of that is how well each character's voice actor delivers their dialogue. The standout is undoubtedly Clementine, whose voice actor gives an incredible performance. I also must mention the music in The Walking Dead, composed by Jared Emerson Johnson. The score manages to be everything it needs to be and then some. It's bleak, it's frightening, it's touching, and really so much more. It has to be heard to be properly experienced, as words don't do it justice. In particular, the music that plays seemingly every time Lee and Clementine have a close moment. It will stick with you for days. Hell, I still listen to it months after I've completed the game. The audio design is wonderful despite a few very, very minor gripes. Sound design receives a 10 out of 10. It's frustrating for me to review this portion of the game. The graphics at first looked cartoonish and silly to me. I didn't play this game for about a year simply because of how it looked. The fact that it took home Game of the Year didn't even convince me. Boy, did the look of this game grow on me. It grew to be one of my favorite games of all time. The images of these characters will forever be burned into my mind. The environments also look great, and the zombies do too. While some models are obviously repeated, they look gross enough to get the job done. Though the visuals are not without fault. Lip sync is sometimes less than ideal, as the audio will often be ahead of the lip sync. Animation is on the stiff side, and characters will sometimes pop into place. A few other minor visual glitches are noticeable throughout the game, though they don't detract from the quality of gameplay, but they are definitely worth noting. Graphics get an 8 out of 10. The Walking Dead is an amazing achievement in video game storytelling. It proved that games can create worlds you care about, full of people you care about. It's a rough experience that will haunt you once it's over. The people you couldn't save and the relationships you may or may not have destroyed will make an impact on you. It's a testament to the team at Telltale that an experience this emotional could be a cel-shaded video game about zombies. The Walking Dead is one of my favorite games of all time and should not be missed by anyone who enjoys great video game storytelling. My overall rating is 9.8 out of 10. To whoever watched this, I thank you. I know it's an obscure title to release a review for so late after its release, but it's one of my personal favorites. And, it's the start of a channel. Didn't want to phone it in, want to do something from the heart, if you will. So, I wanted to do a review I know I would absolutely care about. So again, to anyone watching this, thank you. I appreciate it. And let me know of ways I can make my reviews better. I'm always looking for constructive criticism. Any suggestions you guys may have, I will wholeheartedly listen to it. Thank you.